Do not listen to people like Charlamagne the God. Okay? So Charlamagne was talking about this government shutdown, and he made a comment as relate to what Democrats should be doing. Y'all have that? Okay, play it.
You know what I don't understand, Mimi, and I don't know, maybe you can explain it to me. The health care is going to go up anyway because of the big, beautiful bill, because that didn't include the extension of the tax credits to keep the cost down. So if it's going up anyway, what's the point of Democrats taking the stand to keep the government still closed?
At this point, you're right, because the premiums, which the open enrollment started this weekend, November 1st, and so people are getting those letters in the mail. In fact, one person in Utah, a woman in Utah, she told ABC News that she opened her bill and saw that her monthly premium had already jumped from about $400 a month, Charlamagne, to over $2,000 a month. And so at this point, it's like, what's going to happen? Is it retroactive? Like, how is this going to work as we continue to go forward?
What's good? What's good? Listen. I'm back, man. Shit has been crazy out here. But anyway, I thought this was funny, right? Because this is Black Democrat against Black Democrat. Which I gotta understand is this government shutdown is shown a lot about the Democrats. A lot. What I mean by that is there's a lot of infighting. It's a lot of infighting. And we all know Charlamagne is a Democrat, and we all know Roland Martin is paid by the Democrats, right? And they're going to fight over the government shutdown, even though they both are for the government shutdown. Charlamagne, of course, is like, after a while, because I think he does have a little bit of common sense. He's like, yo, just come back to the table. Let's open the government up, and then you can discuss the the Obamacare situation, right? When the government's open. And Roland Martin is like, no, we want people to starve. We want SNAP not to be funded. And we want people not to get paychecks. We want a whole firm, and we want essentially the Republicans to crack. And then here Charlamagne is going to explain why he believes they're not going to crack. But I thought this was really funny because Charlamagne flames this nigga up bad. But I'm going to let Roland Martin get back on him.
So you're absolutely right.
And the premiums are set for a year. So at this point, if the premiums have already gone up, if they set for a year, at least give the people some relief and get the government back open.
Do not listen to what the hell he just said. That to me is beyond idiotic, because this battle that we're seeing is not solely about health care. Rebecca, I don't know what the hell that was. That was just bullshit.
Whoa. Time out. It's not about healthcare. The Democrats said people were going to die. So what is it about? What is it about? If it's not about healthcare, Roland Martin, why were they fighting Donald Trump so hard? What's the real reason? See what I'm saying? It's all a game. It's a game. It's some nonsense. So what was it about? Before we get into it, he's not going to answer the question, y'all. He's not going to really answer the question. But I'm just saying, like, what is it to gain? Right? What is it to gain?
Up in his ass. You gotta push back immediately. Jump in his ass.
It is an absolute pursuit of truth.
I'm rubbing my head, y'all, because nothing he says is true. There's nothing he says is true. It's all spin. It's not true. So he articulates how Charlamagne misspoke and said, pretty much Donald Trump cut Obamacare, right? That's what he said. That's what Charlamagne said. He said that's not what happened, right? What he's going to say was, well, what happened was Donald Trump got rid of it, even though Obamacare was only set for so long, so it would have ran out anyway. Oh man! Oh.
Which is how I define myself as a journalist.
Oh God!
Because I have too much respect for this microphone, and I have too much respect for the audience. For the audience to be given something that's half correct. And again, I wasn't going to do this, but I'm just going to give y'all an example. Today, again, in that 20-minute discussion that Charlamagne had, and again, this is not tearing down. I'm just stating what happens when a basic statement is made, and maybe you're not thinking about what you're saying that's actually wrong. Charlamagne was quoting Bishop William Barber, talking about the big ugly bill. And he said when the bill passed, quote, Democrats failed to expand the tax credits. So it's incorrect for Charlamagne to say, quote, Democrats failed to expand the tax credits. How could they fail to expand it when they didn't have the power? Republicans did. So should the statement have actually said the GOP cut the subsidies? The GOP cut the tax credits. See, y'all missed that. Y'all missed that. I want to walk y'all through.
I don't know who watches him. Apparently he's very good at what he does. I'm gonna tell you why I say that. It's because he thinks he's smart, but maybe his followers, right, are really like slow. Maybe they're slow. We get what you just said. You didn't say anything deep. It's you can change one thing in a sentence and it can change the whole sentence. We know that. That's not, we all passed high school, my dude. Come on, man. Like, you're not saying nothing any deep. You're not saying something very deep. But I firmly believe if you watch people like this, you have to be a little bit slow to think he's really saying something. He really think he's breaking some shit down. Like, no, we get it, bro. It's not, you're not saying anything, bro. Oh my God.
Very basic understanding language. If the phrase is Democrats failed to expand the tax credits, that means that you are assigning blame for the tax credits expiring on the Democrats because they failed to expand the tax credits. But if the language is the GOP cut the tax credits, that's the appropriate language. Why? Because they control the House, control the Senate, control the White House.
We all know the tax credits were for COVID. COVID is now over. That's why the tax credits is over. The fucking spin is crazy, bro. Oh my God. He is in Democrats' pockets, bro. This is bad.
Still distinguish between who's a journalist and who's not. Who's a journalist and who's a DJ. Who's a journalist, who's a shock jock. Ooh. Who's a journalist and who's a radio host. Ooh. Who's a journalist, who's a podcaster. Who's a journalist and who has a digital show. Because see, the public just sees all media. But there are clear distinctions in terms of our roles and responsibilities.
That's a fact. You went to school for this. We didn't. And you get paid to say things they want you to say. Because what I'm saying is, when you look at his talking points and you look at the Democrat talking points, they're exactly the same. They're exactly the same. There's nothing different about it. And why is that a problem? It's a problem because if you're an individual person, right, you might have similar talking points, but you shouldn't have the exact same talking points as the Democratic Party, right? Even in, I gotta give Charlamagne credit. Even in this, he was like, yo, they should just open it back to the government. You know what I'm saying? Because as an individual, you know what's the right thing to do. we just know it's the right thing to do. People are working and not getting paid. But because he is paid for, he's going to repeat exactly what they say. He is nothing but a black parrot. That's it. He's a parrot. He just repeats back what they tell you. He don't have no nuance in his content. If you look, you can look at any CNN show, right? And you look at his show, it's word for word. It's the same. Even though it's funny, he's a black man, right? I'm guessing he's a father, he's married. So his life should be very different from the liberals, the white liberals, because he's black. Same talking points. Makes no damn sense.
And I thought about that when I saw, because I landed in Bermuda, and all these text messages and whatever, and people hit me up, said, "Oh, did you see it?" No, I didn't. I was literally in the air. And then as folks would hit me up, and I got phone calls from people, and I was quite amused by it all, because it's not like it's new to anyone where I stand on facts.
Where you stand with letting people go without food on Thanksgiving. You stand firm. You're like, look, if you are a struggling single mother, if you were a struggling elderly person, if you were a struggling disabled person, and you can't work, he believes you shouldn't get fed because you should take a stand to fight Donald Trump and lose. I just want you to realize this 40 days is just a giant L. All that shit they talk is an L. Even if it don't go through right away, it's still an L. Do you know why it's an L? It's an L because it's 40 days. And what they were asking for, right? They're not even gonna get to sniff what they're asking for. But I'm gonna give you Charlamagne's response because he flamed this nigga. It is bad. Charlamagne is kind of funny.
Right. So, okay, drop on the clues bomb for Democrats for doing something they don't normally do, and that's fighting. They threw a Hail Mary on behalf of the American people because they know the American people are about to get their asses kicked when it comes to these high-ass health insurance premiums courtesy of the Republicans. I would have loved for Democrats to get Republicans to fold and make some real concessions in regards to health care, but I just don't believe in MAGA's ability to do the right thing, especially when they have zero reason to, because they already got everything they want. Now, remember when Mehdi Hassan was here last week and he said, why do Democrats always have to be the adults in the room? Let's listen.
But you cannot have a political.
We don't care about what whoever you said. We don't care about that. We gonna get into the roasting.
Okay, favor ain't fair, but he will do all the Breakfast Club. Roland, I don't know. Okay, favor ain't fair, but he will do all that hating, but loves texting my phone asking to come on the Breakfast Club. Correct, Envy? Does it? Okay, just be
Super correct.
How many God begins his
Mount's idiotic failed attempt to sell BET. So I'm watching this video because he asked me to. And about 40 minutes in, one of the brothers on the panel starts bigging up Roland's Black Star Network, as he should. And then he just threw a random shot at me, which Roland tended to let people do. Let's listen.
You know, we saw what happened to Bomani Jones at HBO or ESPN. High quality analysis. He couldn't stand. And then you see them throw something out, Comedy Central with Brother Leonard or Charlamagne, whatever he calls himself. That ain't high quality analysis.
Dang, my brother, I don't know your name, but you can big up the Black Star Network without throwing shots at what I was doing on Comedy Central at the time. You can love on Roland and big up what he does without slandering me, but whatever. If that's what you got to do to remain in rotation. Now, in that same episode, Roland had this to say about me. Mind you, he texted my phone and told me to tune in and listen.
You know what? I have not said this publicly, but I'm going to go ahead and say this.
Say it.
And I would love for the current leadership of BET to prove me wrong. When we were in Atlanta covering Melanie Campbell's grassroots organizing event in Atlanta, this was, May? I ran into a sister, and she said, I'm so glad to meet you. She said, I know so much about you. And I was like, really? She says, yes. She says, after the death of George Floyd, she said, the leaders of BET came to me and said, it's time for us to do a news show. And she said, I ran the research. And she said, we did exhaustive research. We studied day parts, we studied shows, we studied other networks, we looked at radio, we looked at newspaper, we looked at podcasting. She said, we studied demographics, 18-24, 24-35, 35-44, 44-54, 55 plus. And she said, after we ran all the metrics, she said the research came back, and the number one person they said, Black America said they wanted to see host a news show on BET was you.
Roland could have stopped it.
She said Charlamagne was on the list, and she said, and then when Comedy Central launched his show, she said they're using my research.
Well, Roland, who else was on the list? Okay, why do you have to let people know that out of all the other people who I'm sure was on the list, Charlamagne the guy was on the list? Roland, I am not your competition, and I refuse to be responsible for how you feel about yourself. You accuse Breakfast Club of spreading misinformation because you are trying to discredit me and the platform I have helped to build as if that's going to amplify what you're doing. You don't have to do that, brother. You already up. You are a 56-year-old seasoned political pundit. You have a lot of respect in the space of political commentary. You are a trusted source for a lot of people, Roland. Be secure in that and stop projecting your insecurities onto me. There's a lot of things I disagree with Roland on, and even with knowing he be sneak dissing, not once until today have I ever spoken on him in a public manner, and it's never been disparaging. Not even a fat joke. I always thought Tariq Nasheed calling him Gerald Dessert was hilarious. But Roland out here lying, accusing us of spreading misinformation, that's an intentional attack to discredit us. What if I did an intentional attack to discredit you? What if I said, could someone out there make me an AI video? Okay, I want an AI video of the Stephanie Mills challenge. And I want Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries singing, I never knew love like this before. And I want Roland Martin in the background of that video dancing for Democrats like he do. I'm talking boogieing for biscuits. And I want the caption to say, we told Roland Martin he can cut in line at the all-you-can-eat bussy buffet, and he agreed to be our backup dancer. What if I asked people to do that for me? That would be an intentional attack. But I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to ask you to do, sir, is don't tell no lie on me, and I won't speak truth about you.
All right, bro. Listen. Roland Martin, have a seat, young man. Have a seat, bro, because when it gets... Have a seat, young man. I wanted to show that because they both Democrat, they both black, and it's friction. Because, like Charlamagne said, right? Like we all know Roland is rolling with the Democrats no matter what, because he's paid by them. You know, it is what it is. You heard Charlamagne. You heard what he said. And the fact he can make a joke about it means this is not new. And so if you're following Roland Martin, you're just following CNN. You're just following NBC. You're just following, that's, you could just watch CNN if you want to watch Roland Martin, honestly. Anyways, this is CJ. I hope you had a good laugh. I did. I'm out.